One. Hi, I'm Cammie Corvin from Corvin's Legal Services, and today I'm with two very special friends. One of them is Maria Coburn from Diamond Mobile Notary, and then I have Jeff Clark from Acme Live Scan Notary. Obviously, the title says a lot right there. But we decided we wanted to get together and do a video on a couple of different things. And one of them is I want to bring forth a bunch of information on the notary family. And then I also want to talk about it was called the 90-day challenge, and it was through the Sign and Thrive group, or NBB, or Notary Business Builder group, with Bill Soroka, who wrote this book for 90-day challenge. And Maria has the book. There it is.
Yeah.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. So we're going to talk about that first, because Maria actually did the 90-day challenge, which I have to tell you right off the top, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Because, I mean, a lot of people that I saw on the site were like, yeah, I'm going to do the 90-day challenge, but you actually not only did the 90-day challenge, but you actually posted it every day that you did the challenge for 90 days. I couldn't believe it. So that's really, really intense as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of effort on your part.
I had help, and
Did you?
you were,
Truth coming out?
Yes, you were a big part of that help. That was on Challenge 35, was to reach out to your friends, your peers, and your mentors. I wrote a letter to them, and one of the things you said and two of other mentors said was, Joan, read off the video
Script, yeah. A lot of people do that when they're doing an interview like we're doing right now. And by the way, this is all free forming. That's the way I kind of flow when I do my radio shows. I like to do an off the cuff type interview, and I really feel that it's more genuine and authentic when you do that versus like looking like your today's episode is blah blah blah, and it's just so, I don't know, I don't like it. But let's get back to you. And first of all, why did you do the 90-day challenge? What was the first thought, other than being ridiculously like, oh my God? What was the first thought that went through your mind about wanting to do this 90-day challenge?
Well, when Bill wrote the book and I heard him talk about it, it was to grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to it, obviously, but I wanted to grow myself. Growing my business was great, but I, myself, as a person, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and grow myself. And I really have to say, each day I was doing the challenge, I was planting a seed, planting it forward, and it paid off.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
because I am busy now.
Yeah. Your businesses.
Yes.
Wow. Well, what was your expectation when you said, okay, I'm going to do this 90-day challenge, and I'm going to put this out every day on a video? What was your expectation in your mind at the time that you were doing this?
Just helping me grow to see where it was going to take me and how I was going to develop myself as a person,
Personally?
as a business owner, and to see myself develop.
So if I had done this, my first thought would have been, can I even do this every day and put a video out? I mean, that's really challenging right there. I mean, forget the whole I want to develop personally and professionally. I would be like, I don't think I could do it, to be honest with you. I think after, I have a tendency to like to do things, and after a little while I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm done. So,
Well,
I mean, did that ever occur to you?
Well, there was days when I was sick
Yeah.
and I went through surgery. I posted that out saying, fellow notaries, I'm sick. I'm not, I'll be back when I'm feeling better. I did let the notaries know I'm not giving up.
Right.
I'll be back when I'm feeling better.
Well, I mean, that
Yeah.
is, I think excusable. I mean,
But-
after all, you did have surgery, so I mean, I think that's excusable.
And also, I am a firm believer I have, faith in my Lord. So as I was reading the challenge, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And I'm like, okay, God, I started this. Give me strength. Give me,
Well, he sure
guide
did,
me.
because
So,
every day you did it. I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
90 days. That's okay. For those of you who don't know, that's 3 months. That's a long time. Okay.
So,
I don't think I committed to my marriages for 3 months. I mean, but I don't know. So when you were doing these challenges, every day you got up and you did a videotape. And then, as you just said, one of the challenges was to reach out to mentors.
mm-hmm.
And so on a daily basis, you sent me your video,
Yes.
right? And I tried to critique it as constructively as possible and as positively as possible, because I know for a fact that when someone critiques me, it is not pleasurable. I don't like it. I don't think anybody likes constructive criticism, or criticism whether it's constructive or not. So
But,
you got this on a daily basis.
yes, but I loved it because you're like, okay, you helped me grow. And you're
So
like,
how so? How did I help you do that?
because at first, you're like, okay, you hesitated. Why did you hesitate? You helped me think about it. And then
Right.
you did that for the first 2 weeks. And then after that, you're like, now I want you to do the video and tell me what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it. So you helped me to, maneuver, and then I would do not only one video but two video, and I would say, okay, Kevin, I like this one better because blah blah blah. I was critiquing my own video.
Right, right.
And then after that,
That was the goal, obviously.
Yes.
Right.
And after that, I'm like, okay, I like this. What do you think?
Right, and so I think what happens is, so many of us, we get into a new business, and let's face it, we're fearful, right? There's going to be that doubt, that self-doubt that goes through your mind, and those things like that. And so I think what happens in doing that we have a tendency to start depending upon people. And so what I didn't want to do with you was have that dependency upon me to make those decisions for you. I wanted you to finally understand what it was like to feel good about making your own decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and sticking with those and feeling good about it, right? Not questioning yourself, I guess. I mean, we're all going to question ourselves, right? So did that help you, that particular challenge of critiquing your own, I have too much coffee and donuts this morning, your own videos, did that help you? Obviously it helped you personally, because you said that English is a second language for you. And so for folks, you're Korean, right?
Yes, half Korean,
Half
half
Korean.
Spanish. But I was born in Korea, so I learned Korean language first. Yes.
Right. So, and you talked to me about, if you don't mind me saying this is again off the cuff, but you talked to me about your fears of speaking and how it was difficult for you as a child, speaking to people who spoke English, where it was much more difficult for you. So this particular, you in particularly, it was much more challenging for you, especially to do a public speaking type thing on a video like we're doing right now, right? So how did, when in doing these critiques and having this stuff done, how did that help you not only professionally but personally? Because towards the end, what I noticed with you was that you were speaking much more fluently, you weren't hesitating, and that you were being much more authentic, but you were feeling comfortable about being that versus when you first started doing it.
It's funny. I got more comfortable because you said, Maria, you seem more relaxed when you were doing the videos in the car versus in your office. And,
isn't that funny? It's, yeah.
And I'm like, well, when I was doing the videos in the car, I was, waiting to pick up my granddaughter, and people were walking by and they were looking at me like, is she talking to herself? And you would think,
is she a wacko?
I know. You would think I would be more nervous, like people are looking at her like, like you said, is she, crazy or what?
Yeah.
But I didn't care.
I think when you're in your car, you feel safe in your own environment versus an office, which has a tendency to be a little bit more, I don't know, professional, or a little bit more expectations of it, right? So I think I felt as soon as I saw the first one actually that you had done in the car, I noticed a total difference in you. You know, it was really interesting, and I think that anybody can relate to that. Is that's probably why there's so much road rage, you know, because people are like comfortable in their car, they're like, ah, screw you, you know. So, but I think that it really does go back to that, right? So.
Yeah. So, and you know, people were walking by, they were waving, and I'm like, you know, smiling, you know, and stuff. So, yeah, it just, I like feel more comfortable
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
speaking for them. Video, hi, you know. So, but no problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what was the most difficult challenge for you out of the whole? So there was 90 challenges, correct? So what was the most, off the top of your head, what was the most difficult one that you've done or did? And you're Jeff wanting to breathe and talk.
I think asking for the challenge certified, asking, you know, sending out the emails like,
Really?
Yes, because you have to ask, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And really, and when I got those back, it was like, because you're asking your friends, your mentors and stuff.
You're asking for.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
And-
asking for it.
Exactly.
You know?
And when they do send you those answers, those replies, you have to really take it, and you have to take it, okay, you got to change yourself. And you got to work on it.
Yeah.
Because you want to grow. You want to, and I'm glad, and they all said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I'm like,
I wouldn't feel so bad, I guess, if they all said the same thing. I'd
Yes.
be like, oh, okay, then I definitely need to work on that.
Exactly.
Versus taking it personally and going, oh, you just don't like me because my hair's gray or whatever, you know.
No. Well, it is great, but that comes with being seasoned and having 4 kids.
Right.
But before I opened up the email, I said, okay, Lord, I asked for it.
Yeah.
I need to embrace this.
Yeah.
And with you, you're like, okay, we're going to talk about this. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I it's funny is I feel like I'm one of these types that can give the advice, but I don't know if I can take it. You know what I mean? So, and the reason I say that is because for me, personally, that could really, I don't know how you feel, Jeff, but that could really put me down, you know, emotionally. I mean, I'd have to really, I don't know. Sometimes I have a tough time. I think it's also the way it's delivered.
Yeah, it's all in delivery. I can relate because I'm not like Maria. Maria can, if that's great that she can take in all the
Right.
advice and whatever. I don't know many people that can say, yeah, give me all the crap I need to change about
Right.
myself. Right? That you don't want to hear that. You have to say some good things and then
Right.
and then get this is what you need to work on. So I think that's when you're critiquing somebody, you need to say, hey, this is what you did good. This is the one thing you need to work on. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm in the Toastmasters group, and that's kind of what when we evaluate speakers, that's kind of what you do. You say, this is what you do. This is what you did well. This is what you need to improve on. And, you know, obviously that's in a loving environment. It's all in what you said about you have to be, what's the intent? It was the intent to destroy you?
Yeah.
Or was it to help that person
Well,
grow?
and
So that's where you're gonna find the right mentors. Like you said, I'm sending this out to these mentors. You want to have people you're surrounded about that will help lift you up and not send you down.
Yeah, but I also send it to friends and stuff too. But the first person, you know, when I read the challenge, the first person obviously I spoke with my husband, and
No, really, is that fair? Do you think that's really fair?
he's very honest.
Do you non-biased?
Oh yes,
All right.
yes. Jeff knows Dale. Oh my God, yes. And he's like, okay, and I'm like,
Well, my last husband was too. That's why he's my ex-husband. But yeah.
he goes, you know what I'm gonna say? I go, yes. He goes, and you cannot be angry with me. And he goes, well, yeah,
you
you
can't
can.
hold it against me. You can't make me sleep on the couch tonight because I said this.
He goes, okay, before I even say, he goes, what am I going to say? And I said, well, he goes, and the kids came out. And they're sitting next to Dad, of course.
Yeah.
And they're like, We love you, Dad.
It's okay. We'll see you sometime. The couch isn't that bad.
Yeah, because it reclines, you know. And I said, you're going to tell me that I take myself too seriously and that I just need to learn to laugh about myself and that I just need to chill.
I think we all need to do that.
Yes.
I think, I don't know about you, but I know I am, and I know you are. We're our own worst enemies, you know. And everybody in the group that I've talked to pretty much says the same thing. They're like, I'm my own worst enemy, you know. And we take things hard, you know. But I also feel like for those who are looking to mentor people, I think it's really important that they understand what that means. That they understand. I look at it like, how would I want someone to tell me something, right? Like you said, in a loving environment that is constructive and not always bad. Because the first thing is, you know, hey, Cammy, can I see you in my office? I'm fired. Everything goes negative. But that was kind of the way I was brought up. And I think a lot of us were brought up that way in the earlier, for those of us who are older, we're brought up that way. So it's a little bit of a challenge for us. So that's why I just commend you so much on doing this challenge. I mean, it was just so many different things. What was your favorite part of the challenge? The 90 days that you got to do? Yeah.
Oh my God. Google near me.
Google Notary near me.
Yeah.
Me, yeah.
Oh my God. Each
Really?
time I did that, I was at a different place.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, how could I be?
Did you do it incognito like everybody always
Yes,
says? Okay.
uh-huh.
All right.
And then I'm like, Rachel, Sarah, punch in Google, near me. And they're like, okay, Mom. And they go, okay, you're on page, you're on, well, it's so different because
There's so many notaries over where you're at over the hill.
yeah, but Rachel would say, okay, you're, 1. And Sarah goes, you're on 5. And I'm like,
how can that be?
exactly.
Wow.
So it's like,
Well, that must have something to do with your SEO and
location.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They look at location.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're mine says Capitola,
Yeah.
Capitola and Santa Cruz actually. So, I'm number one. I'm number one. But there are times that I popped it up and I've been
Yeah.
number.
And Eric, being the smarty pants that he is, he'll come next to me. He goes, "You're right next to me, Mom."
Is that your son?
Yes.
And he's a notary?
No, well, he's studying, because he works at UPS and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
Because I'm like above UPS. I know it's like funny, and I literally am above UPS right now. But
Yeah.
it's like my
But-
office.
But I'm like, get away from me.
That's cute. So, what do you have to say? Wrapping this up, and then I want to get on to the notary family part. But what do you have to say for people about the 90-day challenge? Like, what do you want them to know?
You know what? Doing the 90-day challenge has grown my business. I mean, like I said, it's not going to do it right away. I mean, I started the 90-day challenge August of last year, but I am getting calls. I'm busy. In fact, yesterday I was talking to Jeff, and I'm like, okay, I can only talk to you for a few minutes because I'm going. He goes, dang, you're busy. But you're planting a seed. You don't have to do it, the whole 90-day challenge. Open that book, do the challenge you want, but remember, you're just planting a seed. Do it, and your business is going to grow.
Why do you think that happened? Why do you think your business grew?
I think it's
The different challenges that were in there that made you do like the thank you cards and
yes,
things like that?
Yes, and
It's interesting.
they appreciate that,
90-day challenge.
and it's a handwritten. Jeff knows I get all this because they appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, my repeat clients.
Yeah.
They love that. Thank you.
I have to,
card.
I do that, but I've not been doing it as much lately, and I need to do that because I know, and I have to tell you, I actually got, this is really interesting, I actually got a thank you card from an escrow officer who I don't even do signings for, but I know her and her family. She has her regular notary, which is totally fine, right? But she refers out to me a lot of the deed stuff that I do for the LDA, the legal document assistance stuff. She actually wrote me a thank you letter, a note, handwritten. And I was so surprised. I was like, and I called her and I said, Michelle, thank you so much. And she said, we all need to have that little recognition once in a while. And I thought, yes, we do. Thank you. That really meant a lot to me. So I know what it means to receive those. So in giving those, and I think the challenge with that would be is actually sit down and do it, right?
Yes.
You know, because it's so, I don't know, you kind of...
Yeah, because Peter, I just did an apostille. Well, I did a notarization and an apostille for a client that I did a notarization for him and his family last year. And he called me and he says, you know, Mrs. Colbert, I feel so old when he said Mrs.
All
Colbert.
right. Man.
Yeah. But we saved your card. Can you, you know, come to our house, do a notarization and apostille? And I went, and they remembered me because of the...
Thank you, note.
Yes.
Wow. I love repeat clients.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just, for me, that means that I'm doing my job.
Yes, and
you know what I mean?
Yes, and also the birthday club. I do.
What?
Yes, it's in the Notary Family Resource Center, girl.
Well,
You
we're
need
going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. All right, so for those of you who are interested in the 90-day challenge, here's the book. It's the Notary Business Builder Challenge. It was done by Bill Soroka of the
And he autographed it?
Yes, he did. Let's see what he said, shall we? To Maria, in celebration of your commitment and completion of the challenge. I don't have my glasses on. Thrive on. Thank you, Maria. I think that's really sweet.
This is the second book he autographed.
I just got a book from a friend of mine who wrote a book about, I posted it on Instagram, about how to be, how to deal like in the workplace. And she started writing about how difficult it is with people with certain personalities, you know, to thrive and be in there, and especially like sensitive type peoples or whatever. And she wrote in the book, thanks for being your true authentic self. And the world needs more of you. And that meant a great deal to me, because when someone tells me that I'm being authentic and genuine,
Oh, yeah.
which is what not only this challenge, but what the Notary Business Builder is all about, is being that authentic self. And when you can be your authentic self, to me, that's when the businesses come in, right? That's when you get the business. If you're in it for the money and that's your first foremost thought, you're not going to do it. So I'm going to close on that. But now we're going to start talking about the Notary family. So Jeff, I guess you're the one that like came up with this idea, right? And then you said, "Oh, Maria, you got to do it with me."
No. Let me tell you the story. Okay, so here's the story. Maria calls me. She wants to go into business with me, and I'm like, "Okay, what are we gonna do?" Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe we should do something about notary networking, because I always, and this came from Laura Buer and Notary Symposium, because every year I went when it was in person, and we'd get together 100 of us, and we'd be able to network with other notaries. And I said this would be perfect to have a group of notaries to get together, and we can work with the front back and forth with each other and grow our businesses together, because as we know, there's more than enough work out there.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, well, and it's, you know, to that point, a lot of people think there isn't, and I think
Right.
a lot of that is because it's how you deal with your business and how you are yourself, and we can talk about that later. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we came up with that idea, and we said, okay, let's do that. And we've been cultivating this idea, and what we want to do is, so we started national, where we got as many people as we could around the country to join our group, and we have a Zoom meeting right now once a month. We have 1 month we'll do networking with each other. The other month we'll have a speaker, a guest speaker talking about various topics in the that touch the notary field. And we now this year, so it's almost a year now since we started. So
In August,
we started
yeah.
August in 2022.
I hate it when it goes so fast. It
I
means I'm
know.
going to die a lot quicker. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my
So
gosh. My office sense of humor.
So this year our focus is more to try and get on the local level and try and create chapters of notaries, and we're actually starting that this year down in Southern California with one of our members, Andy. We're hosting a networking event down there with him to try and get some notaries down in his area to get that that local community going, because that's where the power happens. And I just to tell you that there's several members in my city, and we pass work back and forth all the time.
And I do want to talk about that, but the first thing that comes to my mind is, you said I want to develop this networking group, right? And I told you guys in the beginning, like, what makes you so special? What makes you different? What makes you, like, why would I want to join your networking group? And let's face it, we all know that there's a lot of people out there right now that are notaries who are trying to, I want to say this as nicely as possible or as constructive as possible, but a lot of them, I think, are just out there trying to throw stuff out there to make money because, let's face it, the loan signing system has gone down, right? And so we have to diversify and make some money, right? So a lot of them are out there trying to, put forth, oh, this is what we're going to do, and pay me $600 and all, whatever. So what makes you so different? What makes you, like, why would people want to join the Notary Family Network?
We're not doing it for the money, Cammie.
Yeah, we're not.
So we're trying.
So why are you doing it?
Well, I think the perfect example is Jeff works so hard he has developed a database, and you don't even have to be a member to enter your information on the database.
Wow.
Okay, and we have referred jobs to notaries. In fact, I mentioned an apostille work that I did, and his sister lives in Michigan, and I need a notary to go out and help his sister. Luckily, we punched in, and there was a notary in Michigan. I reached out to Richard, and I explained what was going on. He was able to help.
Yeah.
Yes. All because Richard entered his information in the Notary Family database. He's not a Notary Family member, but he entered his information in the Notary Family database.
So when you're having these people enter their information, are you vetting them anyway? I mean, if I'm going to refer a client to somebody other than me, I want to make sure that person has the same standards that I would have with my clients. So how do you ensure that, or how do you work on that?
We don't, but you know what? I'm going to tell you something, Cammie. If they can't figure out how to put their name in the database, then there's a plus. And it's not easy to put the name in the database. You have to go through. So if you can't figure that out, then hey.
We all know there's a lot of things that aren't easy, and Jeff is the tech person that we always go to. It's like, oh, Jeff, here, help me fix this. Here, make it pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
In my area, I get a lot of calls for Spanish-speaking notaries.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I don't speak Spanish. My name is Maria, but me no español. So there is one notary that does speak Spanish. He entered his name in the database. He's in Gilroy.
Yeah.
I referred to him. I reached out to him, and he and I, and yesterday he's like, how do I join your team?
Yeah,
So,
the group, yeah.
So he's...
Well, I know you've referred things to me, which has been really nice because now I do what's called legal document assistant work, where I can prepare certain legal documents. You have to go through, you have to be a paralegal, blah, 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 blah. There's all these restrictions. Anyway, I'm legal to do that. So I concentrate my emphasis on real estate and powers of attorney. I don't do family law. I don't do living trust. I don't do landlord tenant, things like that, because I don't want to. I like to stick in the same area. So you've referred me, actually, a couple of people for powers of attorney, who then go right back to you for the notarization, which is really cool.
Yeah. And that's what Jeff and I, we want to do. We want to help everyone, each other, and grow. And
right. And to give you an example, that's like, $500 for me, right? I'll be honest, that, it's a couple of $500. And that's money that I would not have gotten had it not been for you. Mm-hmm. And then in turn, you get to have your notary situation because you get to go travel to that person, mm-hmm. right? So we all know in California you can charge a travel fee, and then your signatures, right? Yeah. So, I mean, the powers of attorney, for instance, are so simple in the notarization process. It's all about, 10 minutes? And you're probably getting like $100 or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good money for, 10 minutes worth of work. I look at it. But I think what's most important, other than the money, obviously, is the referral, basis of that.
Yeah,
right.
And just to be clear, we try and refer to members first.
Right.
So you can put your name on the list, but if you're not a member,
right.
If you're in an area where there's a member, we're gonna go to the member first.
Yes.
And then we'll go down the list. But
as it should be.
Yeah. So that's.
By
that's
the way,
how
you
it
guys
works.
have your little Notary family shirts
on.
Yes. And you have the sweatshirt, which I have not received yet, just to let you know. And I did not bring my Notary family mug, but I will bring that next time. So, I mean, it's exciting. You do put a lot of work into it. You really do. Obviously, I mean, what membership is like $35 for the year or something like that? Or what is it?
It's
a month or?
It's $300 for the year. Or if you want to go a monthly, it's $30 a month. But we don't. We encourage people to go yearly, because it's cheaper and you'll get more out of it than doing a monthly thing.
Yeah. I actually have a gal. So I belong to CALDA, which is the California Association for Legal Document Assistance, mm-hmm. and kind of the same thing. There's a networking group, and so I actually talk about the networking. I met this gal online through the association who's down south. Super, super sweet. Has been a great mentor to me. Super smart. She contracts are like her jam, and not mine but hers. And so Pam and Dan from the Notary Business Group, mm-hmm. right? I don't know if she's a member of MB of the Notary family or not, but she got in touch with me and said that she needed to have somebody. She's down south, so I referred her to Whitney, the LDA, because her client needed to get a trust done up, mm-hmm. and they needed to do it as soon as possible because of the situation, right? Mm-hmm. And so Whitney was able to help her right away, right, and get it done within like a couple of days over the weekend.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It was pretty intense. Anyway, Pam was very happy about that, and I was really glad to refer. But Whitney has told me that she wants to come and speak at different notary events or things. So I'd love to get her on the Notary family.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because she's actually going. She does wills and estates and trusts. But she's actually becoming a certified estate planner.
Oh, that would be excellent.
Yeah, yes. So I would love to have her on there. And she's just a super, super sweet person whose morals, ethics, and values, I think, follow suit with ours, and that the client comes first, and really it's helping the family, right?
Oh, that's... Yes.
So she's. I'll give you her information later, but you can have her as one of your guest speakers, and I think that would be really super cool. So how is it going so far with the Notary family, other than really fancy T-shirts and coffee cups?
It's going great. I'm already scheduled speakers for 2024, and
wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So the speakers, Maria's on top of it as far as the speakers go.
Look, she just did 90-day challenge.
I
don't think it's an issue for her to get speakers in 3 years in advance.
Yeah, of course.
Just saying.
So
not a problem.
And then as far as our members go, we don't have a huge membership, but the members that we do have, I feel like we've reached out, and especially Maria has reached out personally to each of the members and try and get some feedback as to where we need to help them and mm-hmm. what we need to do, how we can add value to them as a member, mm-hmm. and try and lift them up.
What are you finding was what was the feedback for that?
They wanted hear more about adoptions. So
so when you say adoptions, what about it? You mean like how to do an adoption, or like how to notarize the documents?
Yeah, so I got for 2024 mm-hmm. we have a paralegal / notary public who
does adoptions.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's like me.
So she is going to be speaking.
Good.
And we have some notary public who wants to learn the lingo and want to see some mock documents on Ron. So I got
that scares me.
Yes.
But it scares me.
Yeah, so just,
Another topic.
So I got a guest speaker to show us about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I didn't think about that. That's really good. I would love to come on and talk about maybe real estate documents or power of attorneys as an LDA. There's one thing that came up, and that's the TOD, or the transfer on death. There's a new form that came out that requires.
So you and I will talk
right.
about dates.
We're going to do that, so I can put that on there. I like the fact that people are asking for specific things, because I think in the NBB group, we're finding, especially through Laura Bureau, is specialty work is super important right now to diversify and get our income done differently, right? So adoption, right?
Yes.
That's just another added thing. Real estate documents, trust documents. So I really think that's very interesting and also very important to be able to deal with individual things versus an overall notary, right?
Yeah, and that's why I took it upon myself to reach out to our members, especially our out-of-state members. That,
because there's such a differential.
Yes, what do you want to hear about? How can we add value to you? Because I know there's different laws.
Well, I was going to say, it's totally different in Nevada what it would be in California or Montana,
exactly.
In Texas, so yeah, it's important.
So when, for 2024, when I reached out to guest speakers, they're not all California-based, speakers. They're from out of, different states.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important for people who, let's just say you've got a Texas speaker, right? That somebody from California as a notary maybe attend that, and the reason being is that how many times have we done documents that are from another state?
Exactly.
Right? And we're not quite sure, we understand what we're supposed to do California-wise, but I also think it would be very important to understand the state, attorney states, for instance, how they operate. Like a lot of times the attorney states require witnesses, even though that's our job is to, identify the signer. And then on top of that, they want to have witnesses. Makes no sense to me. But it's the state law, right? So I think it's important that, people have an understanding of the different states.
Exactly.
Or at least a little bit of a, don't you think?
Yeah, depending on what kind of work you're into, so if you, and I want to say, just as a notary, when you see real estate documents and you look at some certificate and you don't quite know how to fill that out because it's from that other state,
right?
And you're like, how do I fill this out?
Just do your own. Just do your own, people.
So,
although I've had some people come back and say we can't accept yours.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I was actually in the 6-hour training, and I heard it mentioned that if you don't use their certificate from I think this was in Texas, they had put a California certificate, and it went back, and it couldn't be recorded because they require 8.5 by 14 in paper.
Oh, kind of an A2 or whatever that is. Yeah.
So anyway, so there is, you want to use their certificate if you can. So
yeah. So I think we need to close. I'm sure this video is like way longer than we probably want it to be, but Jeff will do his thing on that. So I want to thank Maria Coburn, and I want to thank Jeff Clark for coming today and being here and allowing me to interview them. It's very, I always find it very special when people ask me.
And Ms. Cammie, thank you for interviewing us.
You're welcome. It's Cammie Corbin of Corbin's Legal Services. Anyway, I want to thank you both for coming today and allowing me to do this on the 90-day challenge and also the Notary family. And I look forward to doing more with you guys.
Yes, the next one could be after a great.
Oh, September. That's right. In September, we're having the Notary family meet and greet picnic. Yeah.
Yes.
For everybody to come down at Roaring Camp in Felton. That's going to be a lot of fun, and there's a lot of different things on there. And you guys are actually going up there today, and you're going to be taking all kinds of pictures and developing something so that people can see, between now and then, what to expect when they go up there. So that'll be a lot of fun.
And thank you for getting us the train
tickets. Letha Brown of Roaring Camp. Thank you, girl. You're awesome. She really is, and she loves supporting locally owned businesses, and she loves supporting, events, right? Local events, and I'm a member of Think Local First. I'm on the board of directors, and I'm first and foremost try hard to always think about locally owned businesses and supporting them. So for that in mind, I thank everybody for coming today and checking us out, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. And y'all take care out there and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.